In this video today, I'm going to show you how you can make a DYI cutaway card on your Cricut Maker. So let's begin.
All right, I have an A2 size card base here. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I've got a little piece of origami paper here, which is cut to the same size, but I've cut off 1/8 of an inch on the top and on the side just to make it a little bit smaller. And I got this from Amazon. And then I'm going to use some scrapbook adhesives, repositionable easy dots. And so what I'm going to do, on the inside cover, I am going to just run some of this repositionable glue dots. Okay, so I've got the repositionable dots here. So I'm going to put my origami paper, I'm going to put it shiny side down, and I am just going to place it in the cover and make sure it folds, and just run my finger to get rid of any of the glue dots that happen to be hanging over the side. So this is the front of the card, and this will be the inside of the card. Okay, I'm going to use a gel pen for this. I'm using the bright green Cricut gel pen. And before I use it, I want to make sure that it's going to deliver the ink okay. So I'm just going to run it for a little bit on the paper. And if I'm finding that it doesn't do it reliably, I'm just going to pound it on the paper like this for a bit, just to help get the ink going. And I'm going to put this in the A clamp. And then now we're going to go back to our computer.
Okay, I'm in Cricut Design Space, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a shape. So I'll come in here and add a square shape. And I'm going to change this operation to a guide, because this is going to be a guide for my card base. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to make an A2 size card. So this is going to be 4.25 inches by 5 1/2. And so now this is a guide for my particular card that I'm going to make. All right, next we're going to come to images. And let's search for Cutaway, maybe Get Well. And let's scroll down, kind of maybe like this one. Let's add this one to the canvas. Move it down to our guide. And let's unlock it so that we can maybe make it just a tad bigger. Let's see what it looks like if we adjust the size. Maybe about like that. Let's select both and let's align it to the center and attach. Okay, now we need to look at our different layers. So this is a pen layer, so this is going to be writing, so we'll need to find a pen to draw those. And then the rest of these are basic cuts, so everything that's blue is going to be cut out. Okay, at this point we no longer need our guide, so I'm just going to go ahead and hide it over in the layers view over here. Then I'm going to select the rest of it, and we are going to attach it. So we'll select it and attach. And then we'll go to Make It. We're going to do it on the card mat. All right, so it's not coming up with the size of our card that we want. Let's come out and cancel this. And let's size this a little smaller. And let's see if we can get it now. Okay, now we get a 4.25 by 5.5 inch. And you can also move this around a little bit to make sure that you've got it centered. So our whole problem is we had our design just a little bit too big. So that looks good. I'm just going to click and drag this down here because that's where I actually put it on the map. And so that looks pretty good. Double check once again that I'm using the right size, which is 4.25 by 5.5. Let's go to continue. Okay, let's browse all materials. And let's search for Cutaway. So we'll select the Cutaway card and backer. And we'll go done. So it's telling us that we need our pen. It doesn't matter what color it is. It'll do whatever it is in there. And load the fine point blade, and then load on the mat, and then press go. I'm going to change the pressure to more. And it says up here, move the star wheels to the center of the rail, making sure that they are all in the center. And so now let's go back to our maker.
Okay, and I've got my card mat here. I'm going to remove the protective covers from both sides. I've put a piece of washi tape on top of here so I know which side is on the top, because you always want to put it back down, the same side down. Okay, so here is my card base. This is the insert that I've glued into the front of the card base. So I'm just going to slide it into this bottom card. I'm going to butt it up against the top and slide it in as far as it can go. And then I'm just going to brush it down. Okay, and the Cricut star wheels, they need to be pushed into the middle. If they were out here, you just need to push them into the middle. If you have to move the carriage out of the way to do it, you can do that. And so how they have to be positioned is when you put your card mat in, those flywheels should be going right down the middle like this. Okay, so once again I've got my gel pen in there. Once again I'm going to just make sure it's writing okay. Maybe pound it a few times just to make sure. And then I'm going to stick it in there until it snaps in place. Then I'm going to place my card mat in and press the load button. And then I'll press the Cricut. Okay, now I'll press the eject button. I'm going to take out my gel pen so that I can cap it. Alright, I'm going to put the protective cover on the other side. And then we will carefully remove our card. Okay, now I'll just use my weeding tools to carefully weed out the portions we don't want. Okay, so now I'm just taking my glue eraser here to get whatever little pieces of repositionable are left in here. So I'm just very lightly going over it. You can also just use your finger. Now some of the gel pen didn't go over it very well. So even in spite of the fact that I checked, so some of these I'm gonna just very carefully go over by hand just to darken them a bit. Okay, and so this is the final part. There's one little piece right here that's kind of sticking up that I'm just going to stick a little tiny dollop of glue behind that to hold it down. Now, if I do more of these, I'm probably going to want to play around a little bit with the pressure because it has kind of cut through the backing of my origami paper. As you can see right here, it has kind of cut through. So maybe what I'm going to do is get another piece of paper that is complementary to this color and just glue it on top of here just to make sure that none of these ever fall out. Alright, so I've just cut a white sheet of paper 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I cut off 1/8 of an inch on the top and on the side. And I'm just going to use some of my art glitter glue, and I will just put the glue on here. Okay, so now here is the finished card. And you can put a sentiment on the inside. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!